Hi, my name is Jason Bergeson with Aruba Networks, and today we're going to be setting up a full stack solution with an Instant On. All right, before we get started, let's go ahead and go over the topology that we have today. So we're actually going to be utilizing an AP11D that you see over here to my right, and it's going to be acting as a router. All of our access points actually have the ability of working as a router, meaning it can be directly connected to an internet gateway like a cable modem or a DSL modem to get internet access without having to purchase any additional hardware. We're taking advantage of the 11D specifically because it has additional ports at the bottom of it that we can actually connect into the 1930 switch that you see right here in the middle. We're utilizing the 1930 switch in today's demo and setup in order to provide us wired connectivity for wired devices like computers, voice over IP phones, and additional access points in the deployment. And last but not least, to my left, we have the AP15. The AP15 is going to provide us Wi-Fi in the local area network in order for us to get access to the internet and the network connectivity wirelessly. So full stack solution inside the Instant On portal today, all set up within this video. All right, so on your screen, you should see what I am seeing on my phone right now. The application should be appearing. And we're gonna go ahead and walk through the setup of the AP11D. And right now it's asking me to set up a new site because I haven't created a site before. I'm gonna go ahead and tap continue in the lower right-hand corner. And today it's gonna ask me what I want to set up. And today we're gonna be setting up an access point and switch. So I'm gonna be selecting that as an option and then selecting continue. Now, Instant On has the ability of being set up in two different ways, especially from a wireless perspective. You can connect access points to an existing deployment in order for Instant On to provide Wi-Fi connectivity, or you can take advantage of that router mode that I mentioned earlier and utilize a router, an AP as a router, specifically the AP11D in this case. So I'm going to select that second option and then continue at the bottom. It's asking if I already plugged in the device, which I already have. It's powered utilizing a wall adapter, and I've already connected it to the internet via an internet gateway to get internet access. Now it's asking if it's blinking amber and green, which it already is blinking amber and green because I plugged it in ahead of time. What amber and green means is that it's in setup mode, and now the device is utilizing its built-in Bluetooth radio to find my phone with its built-in Bluetooth radio, and they're talking together in order for it to be configured and set up. And really the benefit here is we don't really require any networking knowledge to get these devices up and running. So I'm going to go ahead and click on add device, and while that's getting up and running, I'm going to plug in my 1930 switch so it can go ahead and get booted up and set up ready to go. Now I'm going to give my network name the name of demo, and this is the wireless network that's going to be broadcasted for Instant On. I'm going to give it a password of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then tap continue. I'm going to leave the United States region the same and the name of the site as demo site just for today's purposes, and then now select show it to me. And really what we're doing now is we're taking advantage of those advanced features inside the AP11D of becoming a router to the network. And it's got appropriate firewall rules so that way no one can get into your network from the outside. And since the AP11D specifically has those additional ports, we're able to extend the network. Now I'm going to go ahead and plug in my switch into my AP11D so it can have network access. I'm utilizing this cable right here. I'm going to plug it into the second port on the AP11D. Now, all the ports are configurable with the AP11D as well, just like the switch ports will be in the app. So some of the benefits of getting the switch inside the application is you can assign ports certain VLANs. And when you have an AP11D, we have the ability of creating virtual routed networks, meaning that you can create multiple networks to segment for security purposes. You can segment your networks and segment your traffic, and all of that is routed via the AP11D. So the flexibility that you have is great when you start implementing one of our APs as a router on the network, because you can now start creating virtual routed networks that you have visibility from a wired perspective as well as a wireless perspective. Okay, so now our switch is ready to be set up. It's now blinking amber and green, which means that it is in setup mode. Now, unlike the AP11D or the other APs in the lineup, our switches don't have built-in Bluetooth. We would be able to utilize the serial number in order to get it added to our site. But since we've already set up an AP11D on the network and an instant on site is already being created, the instant on AP11D now can help discover the 1930 switch without having to do any of that whatsoever. So let's go ahead and get that added. I'm gonna go ahead and tap on the devices tile in the lower right-hand corner, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit the plus sign. The plus sign is now gonna let me add a new device on the network, and then I'm gonna select search for my device. Now, because we have the AP11D on the network, you see how quickly that it was added onto the network, pretty much instantaneously. Now I'm gonna select add device, and now it's gonna take just a few moments to get the device added onto my instant on site. While it's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my AP15 to get that set up as well. Plug it into the next network jack over, and then plug it into the AP15. Now, while the AP15 is booting up, just some highlights here. The AP15 really is a great access point. It's our most high dense access point, meaning that it supports the highest speeds, the highest data rates. It's a 4x4 with 4 spatial streams, multi-user MIMO support, meaning it can handle a lot of clients. So when you're going and looking for an access point to fit those kind of deployments, like a gymnasium or a cafeteria where you're gonna have a lot of devices connecting, the AP15 is great for those kind of scenarios. Another area where the AP15 does shine too is in our smart mesh deployments. And mesh, again, is the idea of being able to extend your wireless network without having to run cables. So you can add additional access points without cables that can wirelessly connect. If you need more information around our mesh deployments, please check out some of our other videos that are going over that. But since the AP15 is a 4x4 access point, when it connects, it has the ability of connecting at the highest data rates at all 4 spatial streams. So your mesh link is going to be the fastest possible. The other benefit from mesh is that the AP15 also has the largest or the highest gain antennas in the lineup, which will also help get further range when you're in scenarios where range might be an issue. So now that we have our switch added, let's go ahead and get the AP15 added onto the site as well. Now I'm back in the device tab because we just added a switch. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the plus button again to add the AP15. Now, since we already have the switch in the AP, discovering the AP15 is gonna be almost just as quick as the switch was. So we're using our devices that we already have set up to locate additional devices. Now, if I had multiple AP15s plugged into the switch, I could actually discover multiple of those devices at one time, which makes deploying more devices a lot easier instead of going through one at a time. I'm gonna go ahead and select add the device, and just like the switch, getting it added onto the network is just that easy. So it just took a matter of minutes to get all 3 of these devices up and running. We are taking advantage of the AP11D acting as a router. It's connected utilizing its ports at the bottom into our switch to give wired device connectivity to devices like voice over IP phones, computer workstations, and additional APs. We've plugged in our AP15, which is now going to give us wireless access within our infrastructure. And as you see, this is a full stack managed solution within the Instant On portal that allows you to manage it from anywhere in the world utilizing your phone or the web with no license or subscription cost whatsoever. Everything is built into the hardware that you see here today. So really happy with the overall deployment today. It's extremely easy to get up and running. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have any more questions, please visit our website, arubainstanton.com, to get more information about all of these great products. Again, my name is Jason Bergeson with Aruba Networks. Thanks for joining us today.